Jared Wareham, and I'd like to welcome you to this episode of the Cattle Call. Today we're coming to you live. Well, it's not going to be live when you see it, but it's live right now from Windsor Livestock Auction here in Windsor, Missouri, and I'm joined by Jake Drennan, who is part owner, operator of Windsor Livestock Auction. And when I started doing these series, I tried to bounce some ideas off of guys, and Jake came up with a great one and said, hey, you know, a lot of guys don't know what all goes on behind the scenes of a sale barn, so why don't we do one on that? And I was like, perfect. And so that's what we're here doing today. He's going to kind of walk you through the process of everything that happens to make a sale day complete, and that's start to finish, from the unloading that goes on back here to identifying the cattle, to tagging them, writing them up, sorting them, to actually having the sale and all the labor and all the components that go into making the 2 or 3 day process complete. So what I'm going to do is kind of turn it over to him. He's going to walk you through some of that stuff as they're unloading cattle and bringing them in for the sale day. So I'm going to kind of slide past you here.
Like Jared said, guys, thought maybe it might be kind of neat for everybody to kind of see how everything spins and goes on the inside of this. I know you show up on sale day there and think, well, that runs pretty smooth, but there's a lot behind the doors. But it starts out, you know, a lot of times on the weekends or on Monday, get phone calls, guys wanting to sell their cattle and wanting us to line up trucks and this and that for it. As you can see, we're unloading some cattle right now. Those cattle will come into these unloading pens. We'll go back and we've got a bookend sheet and a health track card also. And the bookend, you know, will get your name, address, write down how many cattle you've got, and put a back tag on your cattle to help identify it. And then second, we will get the health card. And what that does, guys, we'll fill that out. You know, if your cattle have been weaned, we'll put how many days, if they've had shots, how many shots, what all you have given them. And then those cattle, after that, guys, the bookend and the health track go up front. The bookend goes to the computer ladies. They put all that stuff in the computer system. The bookend sheet, or the health track card, will go up to the block where the auctioneer sits. We've got a computer system there that relays the information up onto TV screens for everybody in the stands to see. But after your cattle are unloaded, booked in, everything's done, we'll take them up the alley up here, guys, like you can see. We'll take them up the alley and we'll start steering and heifering those cattle. And then as we get done with that, they'll go out to hay and water pens. You can kind of see as you can kind of see our setup here. And I guess basically now we need to probably go to the next phase. But
I think, yeah, because you've gone through the complete check-in process to being pinned. Now you're ready to we're going to move up here, I think, behind the block and then in the block, kind of show how the process goes on up there. So we'll go ahead and make our way up there and grab a little footage as we're going.
Guys, back here at the sale barn, going to go over a little bit of sale day stuff for you. Tomorrow's going to be pretty hectic. It'll be pretty hard to do all that then. So we don't have the cattle standing in the pens. It is Tuesday. It is the day before the sale. But after we get everything sized and sorted and tagged and ready, we'll put them in these pens here and then all the way back. I mean, tomorrow we'll probably have about every pen full. But basically what we'll do, say the sale starts, those cattle will come right up through this alley right here. And this is the new part of the barn that we just redid. And but they just come right up this alley, right up to the ring. You can kind of see how we're walking right here. Like I say, this was all new this fall. Trying to make things a little bit better, run a little smoother for everybody, and hope everybody likes it.
All right, so I followed you up here. The cattle are going to go through this final little alleyway out through this hydraulic gate into the sale ring. Now, we've come all the way from the back where we unloaded cattle. I mean, from that barn over there all the way up. How many guys work at each stage of the barn in the back?
Well, Jared, we'll keep 2 guys out down there at the unload all sale long, because there'll be cattle come in throughout the day. We'll have 4 guys clear in the back, kind of keeping cattle coming this way, keep everything going. 3 horse riders pushing up. We'll have 6 guys in this alleyway right here. As you can see, there'll be 1 guy standing up here on this catwalk. And then they'll go through the hydraulic door. We sell the cattle. They'll go out the other side. We've got another set of hydraulic gates right there. The cattle, if there's heifers in there that guys want preg, those cattle kick back. I can show you that here in a minute. They kick back and go into these pens. These are our preg pens right here. So if a heifer is bred, she will come back and go, you know, we've got all these gates set where she can come right back around and go back through the ring. If not, she'll go on out to the pen back side where we've got 5 horse riders over there pinning back, because they've got a long ways to go on some of those cattle back there.
And then those cattle will be pinned back by the buyer, and
Yes.
then they'll be loaded out sometime, that evening or the next day?
Yeah, usually everything's gone by Thursday evening. Our sale's on Wednesdays, but sometimes you'll have some cattle here longer than that. But for the most part, they're out of there.
So really start to finish, I mean, you're looking at, cattle will probably get here before Tuesday, but the core of them arrive Tuesday, sales Wednesday, cattle are gone Thursday. So
Yes.
about a 3-day start to finish process.
Yes, that's correct.
All right, well, let's move on the block and take a look at those positions and what people have to do up there. Shoot.
All right, guys, we're standing in our auction block right now. Auctioneer sits here. There's our clerk. This computer right here, guys, this is basically where your health cards go. My brother-in-law does all that, but he'll type in, before the sale, he'll type in all the information off the health cards. Whenever your your first draft comes into the ring, till your very last draft, your name will be on the two 60-inch TV screens up here above the scales. So from the start of your cattle till the end, those guys will know whose they are, what all they've had done, how long they've been weaned, all that, guys. But so anyway, they come into the ring right here. We just redid all this last fall, and we made our ring 60% larger. Redid the seating, and we still got a lot of stuff left to do, guys. But we got hydraulic doors coming in and out, and I can take you out over here and show you this.
You will have guys in here helping move the cattle, right?
Yeah, we can do it with one guy, but most of the time we do it with 2, because we've got the controls on both sides, as you can see, Jared.
And I'm assuming auctioneer sits here?
Yes, auctioneer, clerk sits here. Our pin back guy sits right here.
Okay.
This he's got a computer right here, guys. He keeps track of where the buyer's cattle are. You know, a lot of buyers have numerous different numbers, you know,
Okay.
and buy several different classes of cattle. But he keeps track of that, calls the numbers back. Horse riders take the cattle to the pen. We've got 6 pin back guys back there all the time, and that's kind of the process on that side.
Okay, and then I guess back over here on this side, you also have the vet shack, which is where you do a lot of work, obviously pre-check, preg checking and write health papers and some of that stuff.
Every cow has to go through the chute before she is sold, and like Jared said, it's right out here, guys. All right, guys, we're standing right outside of the block right now. Behind me, you can see our hydraulics silencer chute right there. All the cows run through that chute. If there's any heifers that are preg, they go into these pens right here, like I told you. The vet will come out, grab them, take them up there, and run them through the chute, preg them, and if they are bred, they'll go back around and sell. If not, they'll go out to the original pen of that buyer. But right here, as you can see, Jared, this is right outside of our ring right here. Both of those gates are hydraulic, so one man can operate both gates.
You see the operational controls right there. Okay, and then that's the vet shack where he will sit, have his equipment, write health
Yes.
papers, stuff like that.
Yes, correct.
Okay, great. All righty, let's move up to, I guess we can highlight the office, and there's the jobs in the office.
Okay. All right, guys, standing in our office right now. As you can see, this is where the bookend sheets come with head counts, addresses, all the information, back tags that we put on your cattle to help identify them. They type all that stuff into the computer system. You can see it from here or up in the block while your cattle are selling. And this is
About how many people work in the office?
we've got about 4 all the time. So
So sale day in general, you've got what? Close to 20 people in the back?
we've got I think we've got about 35 people right now.
Like front to back and everything?
That's not counting the people in the office. That's just the back help, yes.
So how many total people, as far as doing a job, do you think it takes to make one single sale day go?
No, probably around 40 people, probably, you know, counting the office, and the kitchen, that's kind of their own deal. We've got a gal that cooks the food and everything, and she takes care of that end of it. But
yeah, so just start to finish sale, you're about 40 people, 40 different jobs, just to receive cattle, move cattle up, pin cattle, check them in, bring them up into the auction area, run them through the ring, sell them, do the transitions between the seller and the buyer, pin them back, preg them, all the health papers, all the checking in and out and making checks and stuff like that. So it's quite a bit of a process to put on a sale.
It is. That's not even counting, truckers that haul the cattle. We've probably got between 6 and 8 truckers hauling all the time. So and then after the sale, you've got to find trucks for the cattle that are sold. It's a never-ending deal. The phone rings all the time. And that's part of the business that we're in, and we understand that, and happy to be in business. But there's a lot to it, and like I say, the day before, Mondays and Tuesdays, I already know of a lot of the cattle that are coming. I'm calling the buyers right then. Hey, I've got something that you'd be interested in, and I'm telling these buyers that way they can kind of, we've got some farmer feeders that buy just for themselves, but then we've got a lot of commission men too that buy for other people, and I want them to go ahead and kind of know what's going on and get a game plan and try to find a place for those cattle to go. So, like I say, there's an awful lot to it, a lot more than what people just see pulling in and out. Hey, that looks pretty simple. There's a lot to this whole deal. But,
and you do it once a week,
yeah,
and that's not including all the other stuff you do, like you said, building up to sale day, when communicating with customers and who's bringing cattle in, and so it's a seems like a fairly oversimplified process at times, that when you really dive into it and start looking in there's a lot of jobs.
Yeah, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, you're pretty well piled up down here. And then the rest of the week and the weekends, you're looking at cattle for the next week. Guys call and, hey, I'm thinking about going. Can you come by and look at my cattle and this and that? So it turns into a pretty full-time job pretty fast. So,
well, I tell you what, I'm behind the camera, so people can't see my beautiful face, and they're just gonna have to look at you. But I thank you so much for coming with this idea, because I think a lot of us that are involved in this business kind of overlook some of those basic principles as far as everything that goes into making a sale day happen, or whatever, running a feedlot and some of those things, and we just don't realize how much labor and how much time goes into doing it. And so I appreciate you shooting this idea to me, and I'm glad we got to come up here and take this video, and I'm sure people will watch it and kind of say, hey, that's quite a bit that goes into that, and a lot of people to manage, and a lot of coordination and communication has to happen to make that work. So I appreciate it.
I appreciate getting to see your beautiful face today.
Yeah.
And thanks for coming over.
You're welcome.